What's up guys, it's Aaronitmar, and we're back today with another episode of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Taunt Origins. The Smash team leaves no stone unturned, and that is true for taunts as much as anything else, so they will scour each new character's games to find the best taunts for them. So let's dive into the final taunts for Smash Ultimate and look at what they reference. For her up taunt, Min Min spins while performing 2 kicks, ending by striking a pose all while shouting out in Chinese. This taunt is taken from one of Min Min's victory animations from ARMS, and also doubles as a victory animation in Smash as well. The pose that she strikes at the end of the taunt matches the pose that is used in Min Min's official artwork for ARMS, which is also the artwork that's used for her fighter spirit. Min Min's side taunt sees her perform some Tai Chi movements with her arms before striking a pose, commonly known as the crane stance, which is incredibly common in Chinese martial arts. This pose is also one that she hits in her official render for ARMS, which is also used as her non-fighter spirit from Ultimate's base game. This pose being inspired by Chinese martial arts lines up with Min Min being of Chinese descent. She also just says the word ramen during this taunt, which is an odd thing to say in the middle of a fight. Min Min's down taunt sees her swing her arms around before she finally strikes another pose. While her arms are kinda doing their own thing, her feet match up with the swallow pose, which is another common pose found in Chinese martial arts. Steve's up taunt sees him jump twice while his arms move. This taunt was inspired by a common greeting in Minecraft, where players will sometimes jump up and swing their arm as a means of communicating. The hand movement in the actual game is a punch, but when it's done without holding anything in that hand, it kinda looks like the player is waving. For his side taunt, Steve pulls out a steak and eats it. In Minecraft, food is essential to keep your hunger up and thus your health up, so players will often eat food in moments of peace in order to bring their health back up. Likewise, a player might do this taunt during a moment of peace in a match. There is a gigantic list of consumable items in Minecraft, but Smash keeps it simple with just having Steve eat a steak, using one of the most common food items that can be found in the game. But fortunately, it doesn't heal you at all in Smash, which is a good thing because Steve really doesn't need another advantage over other players. Lastly is his down taunt, which sees Steve crouch 3 times while looking towards the camera. Crouching in Minecraft is known as sneaking, which has the player walk slower, lowers the sound of their footsteps, and prevents them from falling off of blocks. But you can spam this, resulting in something similar to the taunt that we've seen here in Smash. While Sakurai said this taunt is something of a greeting in Minecraft, I think we all know that it's actually a teabag, which is meant to be a means of taunting your opponent rather than greeting them. Sephiroth's up taunt has him literally taunt the opponent, performing a gesture that beckons the enemy at him while saying "come after me" in Japanese, which seems to be largely a Smash original. It just kind of plays up on Sephiroth's personality. For his side taunt, Sephiroth poses up with the Masamune outstretched, ready for a fight. This is based off of Sephiroth's battle pose from Final Fantasy VII, which is found in a couple of places, like when he was a temporary party member and in the final battle against Cloud. This pose is known as the Kasumi no Kamae, a stance used in Kendo, which is a Japanese martial art that focuses on the sword, with Kendo literally translating to the way of the sword. This taunt is also the inspiration for the render of Sephiroth's alternate costume, which is also kind of tied back to the final battle against Cloud, but the render has of course been significantly adjusted for the sake of space because his sword is comically huge. And finally, Sephiroth's down taunt has him turn more towards the camera while darkness surrounds him. This pose could be seen as similar to the pose that Sephiroth strikes in the scene after he destroys Nibelheim in Final Fantasy VII, while the darkness is just kind of a general reference to the darkness that Sephiroth is often associated with. Pyra's up taunt has her turn away from the camera and wave while Rex teleports in behind her, yelling out, "Go Pyra." This taunt was simply another way to include Rex in the moveset wherever possible, so the origin is fairly Smash original. However, the animation that Rex does is similar to his animation when performing a Blade special in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. For her side taunt, Pyra leans forward and sparks a small fire in her hand, while saying, "You'll get burned." This animation is performed during a cutscene in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and also serves as one of her idle animations. And lastly, for her down taunt, Pyra poses with the Aegis sword while fire surrounds her and she lets out a battle cry, which is a Smash original taunt. Mythra's up taunt is similar to Pyra's, where Rex appears to cheer Mythra on while Mythra waves to him. Rex will instead shout, "Come on, Mythra," but the animation holds the same reference as Pyra's. For her side taunt, Mythra holds out her arm while a burst of light pops from her fingers, and she says, "Prepare yourself." The animation itself is meant to mirror Pyra's side taunt with the fire, with light being the element that Mythra is capable of wielding. Meanwhile, the quote that she says is one of the random quotes that she can say while using Photon Edge in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Finally, Mythra's down taunt sees her turn away from the camera and strike a pose, with wind blowing through her hair and clothing while saying, "Think you could take me?" This pose is a Smash original, just meant to give her a cool stance that matches up with her personality fairly well. However, in English, the quote that she says could actually be based on a fairly popular running joke for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 fans. Early versions of the game had voice lines for the Ardanian soldiers that would overwhelm the player, being a bug of sorts that would allow many voice lines to all stack on top of each other.
Think you can take me! Don't forget me! Think you can take me!
One of these lines from the soldiers was, "Think you can take me." So I like to think that this is actually a reference to that bug, which became incredibly popular online. I'm unsure if this reference holds up in Japanese, where Mythra instead says, "I'll show you my true power," but for English, that's what I think the reference is. Kazuya's up taunt has him cross his arms and grin towards the opponent, which is something that Kazuya just kinda likes to do, being the edgy boy that he is. He's seen doing this in various artwork, and it was even touched upon in his Smash reveal trailer as well. For his side taunt, Kazuya performs the Demon's Wrath. This was a combo introduced in the Tekken series in Tekken 4, and ordinarily requires a 4-button input in order to pull it off. However, for Smash, Sakurai wanted to include it and felt that inclusion as a taunt was a nice middle ground. It's only one of a handful of taunts in the game that can actually deal damage and KO. Lastly is Kazuya's down taunt, where he sort of charges up before briefly transforming into his devil form and roaring before going back to his normal appearance. This transformation appears a number of times throughout the Tekken series, from a pure transformation such as in Tekken 7, to a transformation through the form of a tag out in Tekken Tag Tournament. And last but not least, we have Sora. Sora's up taunt is unique in that it has 3 different animations that cycle. Sora will cast 3 spells: Stopka, Eroga, and Curaga. In the Kingdom Hearts series, Stopka will freeze opponents in time, and Curaga will obviously heal. Eroga has had 2 effects throughout the series, either shielding the opponent by surrounding them with air, or using air as an offensive attack to whirlwind opponents. All of these taunts are purely cosmetic, however, having no function on any players. For his side taunt, Sora spins his Keyblade out in front of him while grunting. This is similar to one of his possible animations for winning in a battle in Olympus Coliseum's tournaments in Kingdom Hearts 1. And lastly is his down taunt, where he jumps up while raising a fist in the air and shouting, "Here we go." Sora most recently does this animation in Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory when successfully hitting star-marked notes in a song. This pose is also used for a render of Sora created specifically for Melody of Memory. And those are all of Fighter Pass 2's taunts and what they reference. I'm not gonna lie, the DLC is a little bit easier than the base roster. I don't know if that's a coincidence or not, but I just had an easier time pointing these to different references than I did during the base roster. I would love to know what your favorite taunt for each character is in this video down in the comments below, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and make sure you subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out, and please remember to be good to one another.